Hello, this is Liz with Crafty Devotion, and we'll be making this cute little ornament. And as you can see, it is an ornament. It's about the size of my hand. This finished one is about 6 inches, but you can trim it shorter if you want it a little bit smaller. If you'd like to purchase one of these dresses, all you do is find my link either at the end of this tutorial, or you can find a link in the description box for my Etsy shop. You will receive two pieces of fabric, one that looks like this and one that looks like this. And so you'll take this fabric, and what we are going to do is we're gonna trim it and cut strips, and the strips will cut them about a 1/2 inch or so, and you want to come up with a total of 8 strips. You will be cutting about a 1/2 inch, and you need to go down about 1 inch for each one. So I'm just guessing a 1/2 inch here. There you go. And basically after that, you will just take it and tear it. If you're trying to tear and it doesn't tear, that means that you have not gone deep enough. You need to go make sure that you have enough to pull on. This fabric here is more of a taffeta feel to it. So you will cut it, and you should come up with at least 8 strips. And they need to be about a 1/2 inch wide. They can be a little bigger or a tiny bit smaller. This dress is not an exact dress. You can then clean up the edges. Now I want you to just clean up the loose ones, not all of them. As you can see, this fray right here is part of the design of my dress. So this one doesn't have very much fray on this side. So if you wish, you can pull a little more off. That's why you need it to be a little bit wider, so that it will. So usually it's mostly just the loose ends, because this does not need to be even, but there you go. So you do that for every single one of them. Let me get a sample of the red one so we could see if there's any differences there. There you go. Then this is a piece of one of the red ones. And these both react very similar. You want to make them about a 1/2 inch long. About a 1/2 inch wide. And then you're going to tear it. Like I said, if they do not tear, you need it. So this was having a hard time tearing. There it goes. It tore. I'm telling you, it will. They can be. This fabric can be difficult to tear. It's not an easy piece to tear. This is a beautiful satin burgundy red color. So make sure you go down far enough here. There you go. When these tear, they actually tear straight, and they make you a straight strip. And there you go. I've cut up my pieces, and let me show you what they look like. Okay, here are the red ones, and they can be different widths. They don't have to be exact. Look at the differences between those two. The point is that with the fabric I give you, you need to have about 8 strips that are approximately 8 to 9 inches long, about 9. And then the same with these. You can see how beautiful they look with all the gold. And that's one of the points that I do, is I like to take fabrics and bring out the beauty in them. Find is one long strip like this. On this piece right here is what we're going to tie things to. And all you are going to do is, I will show you with this nice wide one just so you can get a visual. All you do is lark's head. You make one, you exit over like this, and then in here you put this over like that, and then you place this on like this. Kind of looks like a tie. It's just a lark, called a lark's head, and you want to tighten it, but not so much that you can't move it around. I'll be able to move it around. And we will do this and pretty much place every other one on there. Okay, here you go. I have most of them on. I have about a couple left here that I didn't put on. I'm just going to squeeze them together. I'm going to make sure every knot that I made is nice and snug, but not so tight that it will not move. So right now I have it at about almost 3 inches there. That I'm talking about from the edge of this to the edge of this red one. And it's almost about 2 3/4. So I like to make it nice and snug. Let's see if I can bring it closer to 2 1/2. It just helps. Yes, it's a lot closer to 2 1/2 now. And that's usually about how much I need. And then you'll find a piece of this chiffon. This chiffon, you are going to take it and you're going to fold it, cut it into 4 pieces. You will also, if you need to, you can also make sure you double check that it's not fraying, because it's a soft piece, but this is going to be the slip undergarment portion of your dress. Exact is not perfect, so I'm just gonna do this. It does not need to be perfect, but you can also come down here and fray the bottom a little. So you do this as much as you wish. And usually it's the undergarment, so it doesn't matter much. It's just you don't want a big mess. And then you'll find a bodice that looks like this. And I am going to use hot glue to attach this. You may use maybe fabric tack. This is a cold glue, fabric tack. So go ahead and mark your bodice at about 1 3/4. 1 3/4. Just so you know, this is your mark, so you know you're going to put this part under that. Looks close. I am a guesser of everything, so. Alright, so now we're going to start that. I have to remember to always tell you to mark it, because sometimes I forget little tips here. And this is going to be the undergarment of your dress. You're going to just attach it that way. So here I have it just twisted up, and those twists I'm just going to place in some glue. You will put 4, 2 on each side, and you'll put it right under the line. Please, when you're working with this color of these colors, you will see that the glue shows on these dark colors. So it doesn't matter right here underneath, but as we keep on going, you're going to need to be very careful with your glue, because you do not want it to show through on your garment. Okay, look how pretty that looks. Just a little skirt, and it's going to be the undergarment of the other. I placed this in your kit, and this is a piece of red lace, and this is going to go along here as a first layer of what's going on your dress. Okay, yeah. And the bodice here, it could be you might get a pink or a cream colored. It just depends on what I have in stock, and it doesn't matter that much, because you are going to pretty much cover this entire thing. And then the next thing we're going to do is you will find a piece of red felt also, and cut that right in half. You also will find this. We're gonna prepare this so that we can actually use all of these things. This part is going to become go on your sleeves, because I do have gold sleeves on this design. And these are the sleeves, so you want to make sure they're nice and clean. Actually cut it right in half. Okay. We're going to get the pieces of the red. And you want to do it about half, or you can, if you want, you can experiment and do it differently. But that's what I'm doing right now. See? I'm going to take this part of the gold and I'm going to actually glue it together like this so it looks like a sleeve. Can you see that? I'm just going to put a little glue right in here. Now you do not want to close this hole up because we are going to put our hanger in here also. So just don't glue the whole thing up. I'm just gluing this little edge where I see a little glue. But there and here, these are going to go together. This can all go together also. Just going to prep it so that, there you go. It kind of looks like a little sleeve, see? I closed it up. The red is going together as well, like gluing to itself. And the gold, the edges here are gluing. I'm pulling off a little piece of glue. That's why I put this on last, because the glue getting on it, you don't want any glue on this felt because you'll be able to see this part here is going to be optional, but I'm going to use, because I want to show you that you can use just a strip of your fabric. You don't always have to have the right color of a lace or ribbon. You can use the fabric that you're using as something. There you go. You can see that it looks now like ribbon, and this is going to be placed on here. I'm just going to go over and it would look good. But now I'm going to place this on there. I like the double layer idea. I'm bringing this one up higher just to kind of cover anything that I see that I want to cover. A little piece that looks like this, a little gold piece. And what we are going to do is we're going to trim out all this netting in here. So choose the front of your dress. I mean, you can change your mind when you're working with this. Just re-look at them and decide. I decide this will be my front, and this will go right here. So you be careful how much glue you put, because again, you're gluing on top of red. And I know that when I did this dress, I wanted my gold to be up and my reds to be what's showing the most. So I'm gonna pull them forward, make sure they're all pulled forward, all the golds. Most of my lump is here and down here, and right here is where that thick part of the dress fits. Can you see that? So that the hips of the dress. Okay. So I'm going to retighten all these, make sure that they're nice and snug. This one looks really, like the knot looks really big. I'm going to pull on that. Nice and tight. Pull it towards there. Do the same on the other side. Make sure these are even, because these are going to stay on the dress. Okay, now you'll see how gorgeous this looks. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? This looks gorgeous. I love that. here we go. So this is just the tightness of a, like you're doing, tying your shoe. Tighten it, make sure it's overlapping. I'm doing this nice and snug. There we go. All right, now look at that back. So you can see right here is the organza from underneath slip. Here's the reds and here's the gold that I just left on there. So when you get your dress to this point now, you can also pull things this way, make sure they're even. And so down here, you'll be able to trim this as much as you want. And we'll work with that later. That'll be the last thing. And then we have this piece. I decided to place this here also. So that is also optional if you want to place that there. I think I'm going to place it right here on the waistband. Oh wait, you have one more of these left too. If you wish, you can do something with this. See, these can go here like this if you want. But you'd have to cut one of these off, which is fine also. You don't have to have them all the way around. You can cut it off and put it here to cover up. I'm just giving you ideas of ways that if something would happen and you have, you need to cover up any mess you made, you have this gold. You can remove one of these and put that up there. You could take your circles and let's open it up. Oh, cut out the center. So let me clean this up a little more and I will put it here. Little comb. I'm going to stretch this a little bit, not enough to break all the threads, but enough to form it into a U. And see, I discover things gently. Let that dry. That's what I'm doing. Now I'm going to place this one here. Then I can just, this part right here, I can make it look good. So this is optional. Optional. I like to give you tips on how to fix things if something happens. Even when I make mistakes, I like you sometimes to see my tips. I don't always. So now can you see how that fits? And it's covering the triangle a little bit, but that's okay. Put glue here, here. Grab it here. That looks really good. I like that. I like that. And that looks like a good front too. You can come along here on the bottom and you can take off a little bit of the gold. So look how pretty that red piece looks coming out. It just brings the colors in. So right here where all these golds are sticking out, pull some of them out. You could cut them off, or if you pull them out, can you see how the red becomes exposed? And then I took off a few more red pieces. I'm going to trim that. Okay. And then, so the other thing you can also do down here is the burgundy. If the burgundy is too long, you want to flip it over and pull it up like this. And you can give it a little trim like this. Just straightening it out. And I like the tatteredness of the chiffon, so I'm just pulling out some of the strings again. So how much further you go with this is up to you, because it looks gorgeous just as is, but some of us like to add things the way we want. Now you can also go to each of these little strings here, and you could cut the red, you could trim the red shorter if you want, to make them all even, but you can also cut them in a diagonal like that. Like that. Let's do another one. So you can fold it in half and then snip it this way, and see that? So that would look really cute. And you can choose to do only the red, or you can do both the gold and the red. That's up to you. You could come along on these reds and you could shabby them more and remove some of the edges, and then allow some more shabbiness to hang down. So whatever you wish to do. The last thing is to place the hanger on there, and I'm going to place the hanger on there, and you can see. Now let's measure about how long this one is. It is about almost 6 inches from the top of the hanger to the bottom, and you can trim it shorter if you wish.